So like most of the time when I watch a movie or whatever, I kind of already know right away like what kind of jokes I'm gonna make or what my spin or hook is gonna be. But every so often I finish a movie and the credits roll and I'm like, Beetlejuice was one such movie. This movie came out the year I was born, 1988. Tim Burton's first big breakout hit. And somehow, for some reason, I've never seen it until now. So no nostalgia, no nothing. Just 36 years old, going in raw. And I gotta say, what in the gosh darn hook was this movie? How is this movie PG? This was a PG movie. Kids back in the day probably saw this in theaters and came out looking like they just got the last chopper out of Vietnam. But okay, so since the sequel is out in theaters right now, I figured why not go all the way back to the original 80s classic comedy horror film and see what all the hype is about. So come along, kids, let's take a walk. But before that, really quick, this video is brought to you by Surfshark VPN. Surfshark VPN is an app and browser extension that lets you change your IP address to be pretty much anywhere in the world you want. Now, what this means for you is it protects you from websites and other users trying to snoop on what you're doing and from where. Maybe your country has some like weird, strict content censoring laws, or you just don't want people to potentially hack your accounts. Well, Surfshark VPN can help you with all of that, but it also has a lot of very practical day-to-day uses, like allowing you to watch the Netflix libraries from almost any country. Fun fact, Slovakia has by far the highest number of movies and TV shows you can watch, with over 7,400 titles compared to 5,800 in the US. And all you gotta do is just install Surfshark VPN and tell it to put your IP address in Slovakia, and there you go, you have access to an extra 1,600 titles. Or Japan and Taiwan have the biggest anime libraries on Netflix, so using Surfshark VPN, you can have access to all of that. Or in the reverse, if you're traveling away from your country, you wanna stay up to date on a certain show you're watching or whatever, you can use Surfshark VPN to put your IP address in your home country, and then wham bam bibbidi-bow, there you go. It's quick and easy to sign up and install, and only costs $2.49 per month with a 2-year subscription. And so it barely costs you anything, really, and gives you access to all of this. And get this, you can use a single subscription on an unlimited number of devices. So let's say you and 4 other family members, y'all want to pitch in on one subscription. That means you get all of this for 50 cents a month. So click my link down below and use the promo code Meyers. You're gonna get 4 extra months added to your subscription. So click my link and sign up today. Okay, back to the show. The movie starts off with our first set of main characters, Barbara and Adam.
Looks great.
Thank you.
Happy vacation, honey.
Manchurian tongue oil. Where did you get this?
Helen got it for me in Oslo.
Well, there's enough here to do the whole table and...
You know, just a quick aside here, but like, dude, young Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis on screen at the same time? I mean, so these two are like the perfect couple or whatever.
I'll get it.
Be my guest.
I'll just get the... Maybe you should get it.
I'll get it.
Okay. No.
Yeah, okay, we get it. We love each other. Now, at the same time, a certain someone comes to the door. And this is Janet, one of those pesky real estate people. And she is so gosh darn is desperate to sell their house. Like seriously, you have no idea.
Honey, today I'm $260,000.
No, Jane. It's 6:45 in the morning.
From a man in New York City who only saw a photograph.
Jane, don't send people photos of our house.
This house is too big for you. It really ought to be for a couple with a family, you know?
How about you mind your own business there, Jane? Huh? Yeah, so for whatever reason, Adam and Barbara don't have any kids, although apparently they would really like some. I'll let you connect the dots yourself. So Adam owns a hardware store in town, and Barbara just kind of takes care of the house while Adam builds his cute little models. So, you know, if they were on House Hunters, their budget would be like $8 trillion.
Barbara, come with me down to the store.
What for?
I need a new brush for this tongue oil, and I want to get a part for the model.
Well, you just run in, okay?
So they head on down to the store to pick up some kind of whatever he just said, and we get like the saddest scene of all time.
Morning, Adam. You need a haircut for your vacation?
Oh, thanks, Bill.
How's the model coming?
Oh, it's great,
You
Bill.
know, you said Bosman built that foundation in 1835, but his grandson something was.
Like, come on, man. Listen to the poor man lore dump on you for a while, okay? Someone wrote and recorded all this dialogue. You're just gonna mash the A button and skip all of it?
He says to me, just trim it a little. I took a scissors to him.
See you later, Bill.
Fast. Right.
Just listen to the old guy, would you? Now, on their way back home, while driving the cutest little station wagon I've ever seen, they see a dog run in front of the car and they swerve out of the way. They fall in the river like thing, whatever this is, and now they gotta walk all the way back home. So, hey, thanks for nothing, buddy. Except, this is where things get a little weird. You know, one thing I'll give this movie is just so perfect at like making everything a vibe, you know? Like not a care in the world for the hows and whys. They just made everything look as extra as possible. Like when Adam tries to leave the house again. Dude, like seriously, American Horror Story could never. Oh no, I'm a ghost. I can't leave the house. Nah, man, in Beetlejuice, they get sent to outer space.
Handbook for the recently deceased.
Deceased. I don't know where it came from. Look at the publisher.
Handbook for the recently deceased press.
Yeah, I feel like you're kind of pigeonholing your business there with that name, my dudes. It's like when a store puts "and more" at the end of their name. Okay, so I'm gonna sell meat, but what if I want to sell other things too? Whoa!
Handbook for the recently deceased press.
You know what? I don't think we survived the crash.
That's right. Turns out Adam and Barbara died in the crash, and now they're ghosts forced to stay in their own house forever.
No.
Cabin fever, hon?
Well, I can't clean anything properly. The vacuum's out in the garage and we can't leave the house. Why don't they tell us something? I mean, where are all the other dead people in the world? Why is it just you and me?
You know, I just want to give a quick shout out to how absurdly calm she is about all this. Wait, we died? Oh man, what a rip, am I right? Anyway, so now that they're dead, Jane is all up and about selling their house as soon as possible, and it gets bought by this family, the Deetzes, who are kind of a little bit like, they're kind of like a lot, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, this is great. Sorry, man.
Kevin's mom from Home Alone.
Hey, good, sturdy country craftsmanship. And look at that kitchen. You're finally going to be able to cook a decent meal.
Okay. Hey, honey, look at all this makeup I just bought. Makeup, huh? Well, why didn't you make up the bed this morning? So we have the mom and dad who are just kind of like, whatever, who cares? But then we have like a tiny little baby Winona Ryder on her first big breakout hit as their daughter, Lydia.
Little gasoline, blowtorch. No problem.
Excuse me. Here we go.
Oh, she's one of these kids. You know, dogs don't actually love us, right? They've just been genetically brainwashed by people for like 10,000 years. They literally have no choice.
Ma'am, could you just pull ahead and grab your food, please?
I can't believe we're eating Cantonese. Is there no Szechuan up here?
Plan to have a stroke from the amount of MSG that's in this food.
What? Ma'am? What is this outfit? What is happening?
This is our first meal in this house, so why don't we all do our little private parts to make it a pleasant one?
Do our what?
As soon as we get settled, we'll build you a dark room in the basement, okay?
My whole life is a dark room.
Yeah, okay, Lydia. I too used to listen to System of a Down and Papa Roach, okay? You ain't special. So the Deetz family is set on completely remodeling and redecorating the house, but obviously Adam and Barbara don't want that because it's their house, and like, you know, that's dumb. So they consult the handbook they had earlier, which helps them open a door to the afterworld, underlife, DMV, or whatever this is, so they can try and figure out what the heck is going on. I mean, honestly, this looks like pretty much every DMV I've ever been to. All I need now is like 7 old guys playing TikToks at full volume for no reason.
You don't have an appointment, do you?
Okay, well, so apparently I have a type.
You want a cigarette?
Oh, no, thank you.
I'm trying to cut down myself.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yep, I can tell, definitely. This dude is totally like one of those people who will do like literally anything anyone gives them at a music festival, and then they're like, yeah, you know, diet soda is really bad for you. I just like don't want chemicals in my body. But anyway, so it looks like they're gonna have to wait for years, just like a real DMV. But then they try to see if they can somehow like pull some strings or something.
Is this what happens when you die?
This is what happens when you die. That is what happens when he dies. And that is what happens when they die. It's all very personal. And I'll tell you something. If I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have had my little accident.
Well, this is a heck of a PG movie. Oh boy. Anyway, so they finally get their names called and they have to go through door number 6, whatever the heck that means.
125 years. I can't believe this.
Man, you know, just this movie's so cool. They just did whatever they wanted. It kind of reminds me of Labyrinth in a way. You know, there's something magical about 80s movies, I tell you what. Anyway, so they finally meet up with their caseworker, who is very friendly and welcoming.
I'd almost given up on you. I was about to leave. I do have other clients.
Are you Juno, our caseworker?
Yes, I evaluate individual cases and determine if help is needed, deserved, and available.
Are you available?
No.
Oh, okay, thanks for clearing that up. But one thing their caseworker makes very, very clear is to never, ever employ the services of a certain someone called Beetlejuice.
I didn't want to bring it up. But rather than have you stumble onto it and make another mistake, I'll tell you. He was my assistant. But he was a troublemaker. He went out on his own as a freelance bioexorcist.
See, this is what I'm talking about, okay? The lighting changed, the music changed, just because it's cool, you know? And like seeing this kind of meta humor in the 80s, I don't know, I just think it's so fascinating. Anyway, yeah, so she tells them to never trust this Beetlejuice guy at all, ever, no matter what, ever. So they try the next best thing and put on some bed sheets, as one does when you're a ghost.
God, how can you stand that woman?
But long story short, Lydia goes to investigate the noise and turns out she can totally see Adam and Barbara even though no one else can.
What do you look like under there?
Aren't you scared?
I'm not scared of sheets. Are you gross under there? Are you Night of the Living Dead under there?
You know, if I had seen a ghost at your age, I would have been scared out of my wits.
You're not gross.
Man, I tell you, when I was 17, that would have been the nicest thing any girl could have said to me. So Lydia kind of sort of becomes friends with them, and she tries to like tell her mom that there's ghosts in the house, but her mom's like, yeah, whatever, don't talk to me till I've had my 9 a.m. glass of wine, okay? And while this is all going on, Adam and Barbara decide that maybe being friends with Beetlejuice wouldn't be so bad, because like they literally tried walking around in bed sheets and that didn't work, so like what else could they possibly do?
Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Go ahead, Barbara, say it.
Beetlejuice! What happened?
I think we're in the model.
And so they find Beetlejuice's grave inside of Adam's miniature model town he built, and they dig up his coffin. And like, again, like I said before, I'm sorry I'm going on tangents here, but like these little touches here, like they're so cool. And seeing it all with practical effects, like, man, we didn't know how good we had it. Anyway, so after digging around for a while, they finally unleashed the big BJ himself. Yeah, you're right, that sounds weird. Can we cut this part?
You know what's really beautiful about this? You two kids picked me. You didn't have to, but you picked me. It makes me want to kiss you guys. All right, let's get down to business. You're right. I got a card around here somewhere. Here, hold that for me, would you?
No, we just want to get some people out of our house.
Save that guy for later.
Huh? You know, speaking of music festivals, like, this is the kind of guy you see at them who has, like, 3 girlfriends for no reason. OMG, you guys, I just met the cutest, funniest guy ever. And then it's literally just this dude. Hey, you wouldn't happen to have any extra cans of whipped cream lying around, would you? Now, I don't quite understand this next part, but somehow the Deetz family and their business partners get possessed by what I assumed was Beetlejuice, but apparently it's not, actually. But anyway, so they get possessed and do a little song and dance thing or whatever, which is supposed to scare them away, I guess. But these people only care about money and business opportunities, right? So they think that having a haunted house would be like a great way to make some cash.
It was like being in an amusement park.
I didn't even know I could do the calypso.
Who has more fun than us? And everyone's going to want them for their parties.
People will pay big money for this, right, Grace? Oh.
The Enquirer is offering $50,000 for proof of life after death.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, proof of the afterlife for $50K? Was that like $4 billion back then? So Lydia's kind of going through it right now, okay? Because like she's fascinated with death, and now she knows that there's like a really cool afterlife where people look like this. What's wrong with you, Tim Burton? And so she writes a note about how she's gonna, like, you know, do the thing I always feel like doing after I watch 3 episodes of Friends back to back.
By the time you read this, I will be gone, plummeted off winter river.
So like I said, she's feeling all alone now because Adam and Barbara are in the afterlife, like talking to the caseworker and stuff. So Lydia goes up to the attic where the model town is, and she runs into Beetlejuice, who's just kind of sitting there waiting for someone to say his name 3 times.
Beetlejuice?
Yes, that's it!
Name's Beetlejuice?
Ah, you said it twice. Just say it once more. Come on. Say it!
No!
No! Don't say it!
You!
Yeah, you know, this exact scene happened to me a couple days ago when I took 3 melatonin gummies by accident. But okay, so while all of this is happening, the humans in the house know that something's going on, right? And one of them finds the handbook of the deceased just kind of sitting there and figures out how to call the ghosts to them instead of waiting around for Adam and Barbara to show up whenever they feel like. But in so doing, things kind of get a little weird.
Our ghost, our corpse, and we rise to be.
No.
As flies the...
Yeah, so like Barbara and Adam get summoned back into their wedding clothes, but then they like die again or something. I don't really understand what's going on here. And so with no other choice, Lydia agrees to say Beetlejuice's name 3 times and marry him if he will somehow please save Adam and Barbara. And then he just kind of goes all Beetlejuice for a while. But just like what the caseworker said earlier, he kind of goes rogue and just kind of does like whatever, and Adam and Barbara have to try to stop the wedding from happening, but of course Beetlejuice is way too powerful. And so Barbara steps up to do the only option left. What? So she goes to outer space and rises a freaking sandworm into the human dimension to eat Beetlejuice. You could have given me 1,000 years. I never would have guessed any of this. And so in the end, Adam and Barbara stay in the house with the Deetzes and take care of Lydia as if she was their own daughter because they couldn't have any kids of their own, I assume, based on context clues. And that's the end of the movie. So like... what the heck? But now seriously, jokes aside, this is honestly one of the most iconic movies I think I've ever seen. I mean, like, it's really weird, okay? But now I see where stuff like all of the weird stop motion movies or like Wednesday or Lisa Frankenstein, like clearly they all stem from this. You know what I mean? And like I said, Beetlejuice is out in theaters now, and I'll probably get to that one as soon as I can. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please watch another one, because that's how the algorithm works. So click on this one that's being recommended to you right now, right here on the screen. It actually helps a lot if you do that, because like that's how YouTube knows that my videos are worth caring about. Also, if you have any movies or TV shows you'd like to recommend, send me an email at alexmeyerscontact@gmail.com, and I'll put them on my absurdly long list of movies that I need to get to at some point. Anyway, hope I made your day a little bit better, and I'll see you all next time.